Hey guys, how you doing? FMDale here, and welcome to my Premier League predictor. Now, this is something I do every year. I normally do it a little bit differently to this, but I'm actually going to do it live with you guys. I know it's not exactly live, but I am doing it live. So we're going to go through this together. My thought process is going to be explained to you as we do it, and we'll see how it goes. First of all, you all know, if you don't by now, I am a Sheffield Wednesday fan. My team are in League One, and yeah, that's a long way from the Premier League. But it doesn't mean that I don't watch every single game. Oh my gosh, I am an addict. So hopefully we can get this right. If you've not watched my predictions before, you will find out very quickly I am absolutely useless. I get them all wrong all the time. But I want you guys to let me know what you think about my predictions this season. I think we're looking for a very, very good Premier League season. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are as well. So how are we going to do this? How's it going to work? Well, what we're going to do is, I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start with the relegation, and we'll go all the way up to the championship. We'll look at these mid-table teams. I'll let you know in what position I think they will land as I put them up on the screen. And you guys can have your say on those as well. I'll speak a little bit about them and what I think as well. Let's get to it. All right, so let's start in the relegation zone. Who do I think is going to get relegated this season from the Premier League? Now, if you've watched them before, you know I do like to throw in a few little curveballs. Curveballs are always what I like to see. But will we see any this season? Well, first things first, who do I believe is going to finish bottom of the league? Well, for me personally this season, I don't think we can look any further than Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. I mean, they've made some interesting signings. I think Dean Henderson is a worldie of a signing, but I don't think he's good enough to do it on his own. Lingard, again, I mean, a good signing, but does he need a team around him? I just don't see it for Nottingham Forest this season. As much as I want them to stay up, I'm not going to lie, I want them to stay up, but I think they will finish bottom, if not incredibly close to the bottom. I mean, I think they won't be too far away from the second team, which is Bournemouth. And I know it seems silly to be going with teams who are, you know, coming up from the championship and believing they're going to go straight back down. Look, we all know that it doesn't always happen that way, especially with the way that Brentford were last season. I mean, they shocked everyone with the way that they were. But I think, you know, this season, those two teams, even though, you know, we saw Bournemouth do incredibly well getting up there, and Fulham obviously did incredibly well as well. Are they all going to go down, is what you're thinking at the point? See, with Bournemouth, I don't want them to go down, but if I'm perfectly honest with you, and this is a genuine reason, I cannot stand the Vitality Stadium on TV. I said it. No, I put it out there, and you have to deal with it. That's right. I can't stand it on TV. It annoys me a lot, and I don't know why. Maybe they've made it better, but it looks rubbish on TV. So that's my decision, that they're going down purely based on their stadium. And also, I don't think they've done enough either as well. And you know what? I think there is going to be a little bit of a surprise with who goes down in third. We saw last season that Everton struggled at sections, so we knew that they might have gone down. I think this season we've got a few more teams who might be in the mix. I think the middle to bottom tier teams, there's quite a few who could fall into the trap this season. And one of the ones that I think that might fall into the trap this season are the team that I'm going to have as my outsiders to go down, and that is Southampton. Now, Southampton for me have been treading water for the last couple of seasons, and I've just got this little inkling that it might not be enough for them this year. We always see one team who's just not quite there, just not quite ready to stay up. And for me, that this season is Southampton. But look, these are all, I'm doing this quickly so we don't get lost in it because there's 20 teams to go through. But they are the three that I think will go down. I think Nottingham Forest will probably be bottom. But I think then between them and Bournemouth, it'll be pretty close. And then I think Southampton will go down as well. And you know what? I don't think it'll be that close. I don't think it'll go down to the last day of the season. I think those three teams might be set adrift. Why do I think that? Well, Fulham, I think, might do okay this season. I think they might do fine. I mean, we always say this. They're a bit of a bouncing club. But I don't know what it is about in the season. I think the players they've kept, basically. So they had players that brought a good unit who went down to the championship, smashed the championship to come back. It's to create that unit, to know that when they come back in, they've got an identity, which is something that Fulham haven't had for a few seasons. They created an identity last season. With Mitrovic in form, I think they could stay up. Do I think they are good enough to stay up way above the threshold? No, I do not. But I don't think they're going to be the ones closest to trouble. In fact, I think that's going to be Brentford. I think Brentford are going to finish 17th this season. The reason for this is how important Christian Eriksen was to this team. They have a team, they have an identity. The But they're going into second season syndrome. And we all know that's a dangerous place to be. Second season syndrome is bad, but when you lose your best player, it really does add another level to the worry of that. Obviously, they've still got Ivan Toney. They've still got a good unit of players. But it is that second season syndrome. They were very close to being the ones I put to go down this season instead of Southampton. But I've thrown Southampton in there as a bit of a curveball. But I think they might just stay up. Dancing around that same position with them, the 17, the 16, the 15. I'm going to actually put Leeds in this position, in the 16th position there. Because I think, in my opinion, Leeds just haven't done enough. They've lost Rafinha, who is, we all know with certain players that they are the ones that make the other team scared. All right, that's the game plan. If you know you've got that player, they are going to focus on that player. Without him, I'm not sure that Leeds have a player, and obviously they're losing Calvin Phillips as well, or lost Calvin Phillips as well, who's another major key to their team. I think even putting them in 16th now that I talk about it, they could easily be in the Southampton position as the team who go down. It just depends what Jesse March can do. Actually, do I switch that? Do I switch it? I'm talking myself into telling you that Leeds are going down. But you know what? Why not? Let's keep that Southampton in that spot. I don't know why. I'm gonna stick with it. You can say whatever. But yeah, Leeds. I think losing the two biggest players is always going to be a problem. Bamford coming back next season might make a difference. But again, losing your best players is normally what correlates to the issue. So yeah, Leeds. I mean, if anything, you should be pleased that I'm saying you're staying up, because what I've just said is really you should be going down. And this is the point where I'm going to throw Fulham in there. Again, I don't think these teams will have much between them, to be honest with you. These four, I think, will be very, very close. I think maybe Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, you just never know with first seasons. They can do incredibly well, or they can flop. So really, these 6 teams that I've put so far are sort of in that gap, in that mid-gap, for not being too excitable, but trying to stay up, doing their best, and that's where they will fit. I think Fulham, like I just said, the team, they've been together quite a long time. I just think, why not Fulham? You can only bounce so many times, so I think they will stay up and they will take that slot. 14th position is going to go shockingly to Leicester City. Now, I told you I like to make them a little bit different, and Leicester just haven't done anything, and they're going to lose their best players. Fofana, at the point of recording, Fofana's not gone anywhere, Maddison's not got anywhere, but they are under pressure to be leaving. Fofana, if Chelsea are in for him properly, how are you going to keep him? Maddison to Newcastle could happen. Look, these things could happen, and Leicester could be dropping if they don't do good business soon. They've been relying on Vardy for way too many seasons, so this could be the year that they go even further down than that. But I'm saying 14th position is going to be Leicester City this season. Now 13th, we're talking about proper mid-table here. 13th now, onto the next step, the next level of player and team, and I'm going to throw in Crystal Palace. We all know Crystal Palace, this sort of weird mid-team that we're not sure if they're good, and we're not sure if they're average, and we're not sure if they're going to be relegation candidates each season. They're in a weird mixture, but this year I'm throwing them in that 13th slot. One of the reasons for this is Zaha can always do magic. Elise can do magic. They've got magic within the team. And also, I've got to be fair to all of you Crystal Palace fans. You are absolutely massive at home. So the fact that you guys have such a strong unity at home, I think it's going to be good enough. And I think this season, the more we talk about the Premier League season and the way that it's going to be this year, I think we'll be looking a lot at teams struggling against the big boys massively. I think Man City and Liverpool are just so far ahead. And I think Chelsea will be incredibly difficult to beat. Arsenal look very good. Tottenham look really good. Manchester United are possible to be beaten, so that's a good thing for the smaller teams. But on the whole, we could have it's a little mini league down there at the bottom, and I think a lot of them are closer than they should be. But I think they've cemented themselves, Palace, good enough to be in that 13th position. And then they should be happy with it as well. So we're still looking mid to lows here. And 12th position is going to go to Aston Villa. Aston Villa in 12th position. Now, look, I've got Villa mates a long way, a long round, and loads of good ones. And do you know what? I just think, if I'm honest, I just think that's where you're at. I just think that's where you're at. I'm not saying, this is one of those things. Villa could finish way higher than that. They could do really, really well. But you know what? I just don't see it. You're losing Chukwuemeka to Chelsea. Young players wanting to leave. You've got to build yourselves on those. This is what you want to do. You want to make your money off those young players. It's the way that Villa do it. And it's absolutely fine. It's fantastic. It's what they do. But do I think that they're much better? I just think I think they're a good team, Villa. I think they're a good team. They'll take points off good teams and good players. But I just think they won't go any further than that. I just think they're a mid-table team. I don't see them getting into the Europa League. I don't see them getting into the conference. And I think the gap between where I've put them in 12th and 8th position is it's very, very tight. I don't think there's much between the teams that you'll see that are put just outside the European spots. I mean, you could disagree. And I feel like each of those could move 1 or 2 places. I don't feel like that's a major issue. But that's kind of where I put them in 12th. And 11th, just above them. I'm not going far away. Or am I? I'm not going far away. I'm putting Wolves in there in 11th. And Wolves in 11th is very much based on... They're just steady. They're solid, aren't they, Wolves? I don't see them being anywhere further down. I don't see them being anywhere further up. They are just what they are. But they know what they are. And that is always, I think, the most important thing. I'm not sure Villa know what they are at this point. So that's, Leeds don't really know what they are at this point. They're sort of this club. Leicester in a little limbo, not sure what they are. Wolves always know what they are. You always know what you're going to get with Wolves. And I think that's why I'm putting them in 11th. I think it's very safe for them. Think it is fine for them. And just above those this season, I think that's where number 10 is where Everton are going to be. They've not done enough, to be honest. They've got rid of Richarlison. And what else have they done? I'm putting them in 10th because I still believe that between now and the transfer window finishing, they'll do something. And I don't have any justification for that. I just think they will. And that's why I'm putting them there. If Calvert-Lewin can stay fit the whole season, you've got something in there. But I just think they've got the 60 mil. They've got the 60 mil from Richarlison, which means that they are at a break-even point, surely, with the financial fair play that they were having a massive issue with, which means that they should be able to bring players in at this point. I think they are waiting until the end of the transfer window where they're trying to get a few bargains so they can get more people in. That's my view on Everton. I think we will be waiting for the transfer window to find out quite where they sit this season. I don't think we're at it now. But with my belief that they will bring players in, that's where I put them 10th. If they don't, I mean, they're flying. They're not doing great. They're definitely further down the table than up at this point, Everton. But that's what I'm doing with them. And I feel if there's an Everton fan out there, they could be very, very happy with 10th place. In 9th place this season, they've made some signings and they should do better. But I'm going to go with West Ham. I'm going with West Ham in 9th place this season. Because there's got a few shocks, a few movements. I think they had a really good year last year. They were brilliant. And they have brought in Scamacca, which I think is a good signing. I think there's nothing wrong with that signing. The team is very similar to what it can be. I think 9th, again, is a good position for them. I mean, they'll be disappointed that I've not put them in the top 7 in the Europas. But I think 9th is where they're at. And if they can keep Declan Rice, then of course they're in 9th. I think it's a given. But again, it's another player who his contract's running down. If there's teams with big money, and I think there's a couple of teams here who really should really be looking at Declan Rice. But, I think that's my position for West Ham. And let me know. I don't want this to go on forever. That's why I'm trying to jump through some of these picks as well. And then just outside is going to be Brighton. I think they've got a lovely team. Yes, they've lost Basuma, which is the thing. But I think with the manager, with Potter, he's just a man who knows his football. And the way that he knows his football is to play the way that Brighton play. People don't like playing Brighton because you can't quite trust what you're going to get. And I think when they're on form, they don't seem like they're going to be easily beaten. They don't seem like they're going to smash anyone. But they have this amazing ability to go unnoticed. And it is something that in football, it can be such a good tool to go unnoticed. And that is what I think Brighton will do this season. Finish 8th and be unnoticed. Just beating the smaller teams. Beating the teams around them, Brighton. This is how I see it. They're not a team who challenge any of these guys. But they will beat the teams around them. Or at least that's what I think they'll do. 7th position is Newcastle. Now, you know what? I think they will sneak into that conference spot. I don't think there's anything higher for Newcastle, but they're getting to be more solid. And I think with Eddie Howe, we know he can do good good wonders with players. He can get them working together. We know with a bit of money as well that they have, that they probably will sign a few more players before the end of the season. If they can bring in, another top quality striker, or, Guimaraes is going to be even better this season. With the full season, he's going to be fantastic. You've got Trippier there, you've got Pope there. There are a few positions that, maybe they need a couple more players, but I think they're happily sitting between, say, the Villa to the 7th spot. They're happy. This could mingle a little bit, but I think they'll sneak it in there. And I think even if a halfway point in the season they're in this area, I think they'll sign in January and get themselves up to the level of 7th and sit happily there. Now, 6th position this season, you can look at these teams and you can see already it's not going to be easy to see which team fits where. So there's going to be difficulties here because, let's be honest, it's not easy. I think Ten Hag coming into Manchester United could change Manchester United a little bit. Arsenal on pre-season form, it could be up in the Champions. That's the way it's been in pre-season. They've been smashing people left, right and centre. Jesus is an unreal signing. And people have... I'll talk about that when I get to them. I'm not getting to them now. Who I'm getting to right now is Ten Hag. It is Manchester United. And anybody who knows me a little bit, putting them in 6th is still higher than I'd like to put Manchester United. But I'm putting them in 6th. The reason for this is the Ronaldo saga doesn't help. It doesn't help. The stuff that's behind the scenes, that's even behind Ten Hag, doesn't really help. The fact that they are trying to just be Ajax and sign Ajax players. Again, there's a big thing about signing players from Holland where not all of them work. Yeah, we've seen a few work. And I would say that you see less work than work from Holland. I just don't think they work out very well. But we will see with Manchester United this season. Obviously, Ten Hag himself coming over. You've got players who, if on their form, if they do well, if they all are on form, you've got Rashford, you've got Sancho, you've got Fernandes. I mean, if Ronaldo plays, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Martial. If he's put a few in the pre-season games, there is a lot there. There is a lot there, but they've still got the defensive issues. And I know they've signed Martinez, but you don't know. You just don't know. Coming in from Ajax, what he's going to be like. He's 5'9", I think. There's going to be a lot of physicality. He's a physical player, but the physicality is different in the Premier League because it's continuous. It's continuous day after day after day, week after week after week. Difficult games all the time. I actually don't have that. The only thing really going for Man U at this point is they're not in the Champions League, so they don't have that side to it. In the Europa, you get away with playing kids. No one cares that you play kids until the very end of the competition. You can't quite do that in the Champions League. So I think they'll get away with that one there a little bit. Now this is, again, even tougher. Who is going to finish in 5th? Just outside the Champions League spot, because I think this is really, really tough this season of who is going to finish there, and I am tempted to go with a team that I don't think anybody will expect me to go with, and I'm gonna possibly. They've made some interesting signings. They've made some very interesting signings, but is there too much going on there? Can I take that risk? Can they fall apart? There's a lot of teams there in the London section. I think we know the northern and the southern section. There's a little bit of a difference. I don't believe these two are going to struggle this season unless they get incredible injuries. It's these three. Where are they going to fit? Now, this team is the one I think, I know their position. I know where I'm putting them. That's sorted. It's between these two. And I want to say, why play it safe? Why play it safe with these predictions? It's more fun if I make a prediction and it comes true and it's a little bit outrageous. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Chelsea there. And I know that they're going to be outside the Champions League, which seems to make no sense. They've still got an incredible team. I'm making the decision. I'm doing it. There is still a little bit of uncertainty. Chelsea above situation. With the new owners coming in, Tuchel is a great manager, but he does have a tendency to fall out with players after a while. That is just something he has. So, is that going to happen this season? New signings are interesting. Sterling, great to see. Love to see him in Chelsea. I think that'll be a very, very interesting signing. But do you know what? I think they could finish outside the Champions League. I think they could. I think that's a sort of a gamble decision. Sorry, I'll put them up here. I put them in the wrong spot there. In 4th position. Nope. They deserve to be there. Take that back and forget about it. Yeah, they're going to be in 5th. They're going to miss out just because I think Arsenal might sneak into 4th. I do. I think Arsenal might just sneak in. Their transfer window has been brilliant. They've got rid of a lot of dead wood. They've got rid of players who have been very, very difficult. And what they've brought in is Gabriel Jesus. Now, let me tell you, when Gabriel Jesus went to Manchester City, we all thought, what an unbelievable signing. The way he came up from Brazil, we all watched him. We all thought he is a lethal finisher. An absolutely lethal finisher. That is what he was signed for. That is what he came over for. And we all seem to forget it in the time that he was at Manchester City. We all think, oh, you know, he plays on the left, plays on the right. He sometimes goes in the middle. He has that face that always looks like he wants to cry. That's not the point. He's just gone to Arsenal and gone, guys, remember that guy you remember from Brazil? He's still here. He's still within me. And if you let me go and shoot all the time and just be that focal central striker and put trust in me, I'll show you what I can do. And I think this is a big season for Gabriel Jesus. And I think we'll all look back on this season and go, Man City didn't need to get rid of him. They didn't need to. I mean, let's all be perfectly honest. Man City have got the best striker in the world. But Gabriel Jesus, I think, will do wonders at Arsenal. I think he'll take him into the Champions League, but I don't think he'll take him to 3rd because that will be Tottenham's, because Conte is incredibly good. I think we are all not looking at Tottenham this season as much as we should be. They're a little bit hit and miss. We know that. We know that with Tottenham. But this season, with Conte is one of the best managers in the world. And after half a season at Tottenham, you think, whoa, you know, what's he going to do? And he's starting to build Tottenham. You're like, oh, what's he going to do? This is the season for me that he can make moves. They've made incredible transfers. And I think Richarlison coming in is weirdly fantastic for them. Because if you can bring Richarlison into your team, Richarlison, where does he fit in this team? Right? So we've got Son. We've got Kulusevski, who was unbelievable at the end of last season. And we've got Harry Kane. I mean, with Harry Kane, you do have one of the best strikers in the world. That front three is unbelievable. And Richarlison is signed for you for £60 million to what? Sit on the bench? Probably not. So this is an unbelievable season for Tottenham. They've got Champions League football. They've got everything that you want in my position. I'm going for them. I believe in them. And I think they will finish 3rd. Now, the big one. Who's going to be champions? Who's going to be 2nd? I think this is tough, and I think it could come down to injuries once again. It's a season of injuries, and I was watching a Manchester City game the other day, and I watched the Charity Shield as well, and we saw Liverpool beat them. I thought Liverpool looked decent. I thought Manchester City looked undercooked. Now, this is what happens every single time Manchester City play. When we look back on Manchester City seasons, they start the season quite slow, very, very often. But they'll always finish it incredibly strong. Liverpool normally struggle around Christmas time when they have a little bit of a blip. So, this is what I am thinking this season. I think there will be equal points and we will go to a goal difference. No, I don't. I actually think in 2nd place this season is going to be Liverpool. I do. I think the fact that they got rid of Mane is a real big one. It's a big one. I mean, we know that Diaz is good, but they are going to figure out, every other team in this league, that he has not got a left foot. He doesn't ever go to the left foot. Well, with Mane, you're not sure if he's going to go left, he's right, he's so rapid, he goes through the middle. There's so much to Mane's game. Diaz doesn't have a left foot, he has a right foot, and he has incredible skills with that right foot, and his body feints are unbelievable, but he very rarely does anything with his left foot. Nunez, we saw him, I thought he came on and did very, very well in 38 minutes, but that's 38 minutes of the game. We've got to see him for a whole season. There's a lot of pressure, I think, on Diaz and Nunez to do a lot of work this season, but the pressure is all on Salah. Now, Salah can't do what he did last season, where at the end of the season, he just seemed to be completely focused on scoring goals for his own personal gain. He seemed incredibly selfish at the end of last season. Liverpool need to see a very, very mature season from Salah. Defensively, we know they're very good. I think Konate is just getting even better and better and better. Matip's getting even better. Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, all amazing players. I think when you go through them player for player, they are very good. Maybe slightly weaker than Manchester City, I would say, in midfield. I'd also say the Liverpool are probably struggling a little bit with the players that they're bringing through from the youth team, okay? So I understand that you'll say, you know, they've got Carvalho, they've got Harvey Elliott. Both of those two were signed very, very late on in the development from Fulham. So Harvey Elliott was already playing first-team football at Fulham, and so was Carvalho. The rest of their young players, it seems to be a little bit of a loss. Seems to be at a loss. A few games for Conor Bradley, a few opportunities maybe in the cups, but I don't think they've got the next generation coming through as well as the next team, which I think might help the next team as well. It all depends on where they send their loanies and young kids. But you know what? If they stay fit, I think we're looking at Manchester City as champions again. I think we are. I think it's turning into a Bayern Munich situation. When you bring in Haaland, it's almost inevitable that you're going to win. If he gets a chance, he scores a goal. And people will say the Champions... not the Champions League, sorry. The Community Shield, they'll look at that and they'll be like, you know what? He missed an open goal. He missed what was pretty much a sitter in the first half as well. Didn't look great. Guys, he's not going to do that every single week. It's still pre-season. It's still whatever. I think City are going to be unstoppable. I think they'll score an incredible amount of goals. I think we won't score many past them. And I don't think it will be as close as last season. I don't think it will be as close as last season. I think City will run away with it this year. I think it's a little bit of a rebuild season for Liverpool. And being a rebuild season, I don't think that they'll have too much of an issue with being a little bit further back with the idea of the season after it. Man City's rebuild has been strikers this season, Alvarez and Haaland, and they are incredible signings. That's their rebuild this season. Last season it was the defence. They pick a position each year, and I just think they're going to be unstoppable. Massive season for Grealish as well. Little things I'll throw in, a little tidbit as well. As we finish it off, who do I think will get the Golden Boot this season? I've mentioned it there, and this is why I'm saying it now. I think it'll be Haaland. I think he'll just get so many goals. I think I'd get so many goals in the Manchester City team. It does depend on if City want to play to his strength, but, you know, that's just what I think. So what do you guys think out there? Do you agree with my decisions? Do you think it will be different teams getting relegated? Do you think Southampton will be a lot further up? Do you think it won't be as close as I'm saying it will be at this point? Do you think Manchester United might get themselves into the Champions League? A lot of you probably will say Chelsea will be, but it's a long season. Loads will happen. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think. Get down there in the comments and let's see how bad it is come the end of the year. See you soon, guys. To the pit.